the Rose Garden, President Trump about to hold a news conference on the coronavirus crisis. There you see.
More of the country is closing down tonight.
We've been working very hard on this. We've
trying to contain the coronavirus pandemic.
Dozens of malls will once again open their doors to wait.
More states are starting to get back to business now, with nearly 3 dozen at least partially reopening between today and the end of next week. 15 states.
On the coronavirus crisis.
Infections top 15,000, more than 200 deaths.
must stay home.
The spread of the coronavirus.
The FDA warned there could be potential disruptions to supply or shortages of critical medical
quarantine, because this is the temporary home for people who have been discharged from hospital but are waiting to test negative, or people.
Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh. First of all, I just want to say that's the first time I saw those new videos. I'm holding back tears right now. I love those videos so much. They were so emotional and they really touched me in a big way. And I think they're fabulous. So just lots of praise to the marketing team, because that was amazing, amazing videos. And I absolutely loved them. I have a special guest today. I just want to tell you, one of the reasons I really love those videos is because I felt that. And I know a lot of you probably felt that too, that need to travel, that missing your travel, but just knowing it shall pass. Currently, I have lots of friends that are traveling. I'm watching them on Facebook as they're entering the plane, they're entering the resort, they're going to Cancun, they're absolutely loving it. So it is coming back, and I love the message. Book now, travel later. That's a message we all have to understand, because I'm booking a beach house and the airfare is very expensive, and for the fall, and the availability is very tight, because that's what people are doing, and you need to be one of those people that's booking your fall trips now in early 2021, late a whole year, but also this year too. So I love the message, love the videos. Now I want to bring to you a virtual vacation today. And many of you may not know that much about Bermuda, and it's an island that's very different. It's not really in the Caribbean, but it's sort of Caribbean-ish, but also has, I'm not going to talk about it, because I have a professional here to talk about it. I have Earlston Dill from the Bermuda Tourist Board. Are you there, Earlston?
I am here, Lori. Good.
Okay. So nice to see you today, and I'm so happy you joined us. I'm going to let you share your screen and show your presentation and teach us all about Bermuda. I'm going to pretend like that's where I live today with my beach house in Bermuda. And we're going to go to Bermuda, everyone. So get ready, because I've been on those pink sanded beaches, and they're another one of my favorite places. And
I'm here.
Probably you don't even know how much you would love it to do. And I think you're about to find out. Ralston, are you there?
I'm here.
Hello?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm here.
okay, good. And then, are you able to share your screen?
Let's see if I can do that. There we go.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to turn this over to you and let you tell us all about Bermuda, okay?
Okay, thank you. Alrighty, and good morning, everybody out there. I am so glad that you've taken the opportunity to be on today's call and to learn a little bit more about the island of Bermuda. So what I want to do is pretty much just give you an overview of our destination, point out a few hotels that I kind of think are the more popular ones that people are booking. And I guess at the end, we'll have Q&A. Yes, Lori?
Well, actually, we like it to be interactive. So if you see me hold up my hand, that means we have a question. I'll ask you it during the presentation.
Okay, no problem. All righty, so let's start. Bermuda is set apart by its location and way of life. It's where cultures, genuine hospitality, adventurous spirits, and a certain mystique swirl together, connecting your guests with memorable moments and experiences. So for those of you, I hope it's not many, who aren't familiar with the location of Bermuda, Bermuda happens to be in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean all by itself. Our closest point of land is Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. So we're roughly about 700 miles off the East Coast. And like most people think, because we're an island, we're in the Caribbean. You can see here from the map that we're actually not in the Caribbean and in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean. We are a very small country, only 21 square miles. In fact, our widest point to land is only 1 mile wide. We have roughly a population of about 65,000 people. So we can actually fit our entire nation into one of your football stadiums and probably still have seats left over. Now, Bermuda was actually discovered in 1609 by the wreck of the Sea Venture. The Sea Venture was one of 9 vessels that was on its way on a rescue mission to Jamestown, Virginia. But during a storm, the ships were dispersed, and the flagship, the Sea Venture, was the one that ended up on the shores of Bermuda. There was roughly about 150 settlers on board, and they stayed in Bermuda for about 10 months, built 2 new ships, continued on with their rescue mission, kept a handful of people there in order to claim us. Now, most people don't realize that 100 years prior, the Spanish actually came across Bermuda in 1503, but all they did was make a notation of the island and kept on going. Otherwise, I would have been speaking Spanish to you today and not the Queen's English. The majority of our gateway cities, because of our proximity, as you can see, are all along the East Coast. They range all the way from Miami all the way up as far as Toronto, Canada. So you're looking at an approximate flight time of about 2 hours. And for those of you who may have flown to Bermuda before out of the New York area, it is only 90 minutes from wheels up to wheels down. Now, right now, because of the coronavirus, we know that we're still waiting for the borders to open, and we're still waiting for airlines to start flying to destinations. So we've had a few flights that have either been pushed back or actually canceled for the season. So I just wanted to point them out to you real quickly. So our Charlotte and Washington, D.C. flight has been postponed for 2020. Our Philadelphia and Miami flights have been pushed back to start in December. The majority of the remaining flights should be starting up mid to late June, early July. So that's when we're looking for those airlines to start flying back to the island. Now, we do have a brand new airport that is being built. And in fact, we were ahead of schedule. Supposed to have opened up in July, but obviously because everybody's been sheltered at home for the past couple of months, they've pushed back the opening date to December of this year. So we're looking forward to utilizing a brand new state-of-the-art airport when it comes online in December. Getting around the island is very easy. We have several different forms of transportation. So we do have our buses, ferries, taxis, and mopeds. We do offer a transportation pass that gives you unlimited travel on the buses and the ferries. So what you're looking at is that you can hop on and off the buses and the ferries as many times as you wish, and you can inter-exchange between the two as often as you want. So it's a very economical way. They do offer anywhere from a 1 to a 7-day pass, depending upon how many days that you are on island and you wish to utilize it. Now, one of the newest things is these electric cars. So we have 4 different brands of electric cars, majority made by Renault. They do run anywhere from 50 to 70 miles on one charge. So the one from the left and the one that's second from the right, those are your more luxury brands because they do have roll-up windows and AC, and the other 2 are pretty much open air. So just be sure that you will be exposed to the elements if you rent it on a day that may be a little bit inclement. Excuse me. Bermuda Tourism has also devised a program known as the Certified Tourism Ambassador Program. Now, this is a program that actually is in several different U.S. cities. And what it is that they teach locals everything and anything about that city so that when you do have visitors that come there, then they are identified by visitors with a gold star, which you'll see the young lady on the right, she has it actually pinned to her t-shirt. So we have roughly about 700 frontline people that have taken the exam. They've learned everything they need to know about the sightseeing, the venues, where to eat, where to go, and they can literally design an itinerary right there on the spot for your clients if they don't know what they want to do for that day. So they're kind of true certified tour guides. And this hopefully is something that'll be a more positive experience for your clients when they're on island to actually utilize one of our CTAs. Now, the island itself, as I mentioned, this is pretty much a sketch of what it looks like. It runs east to west, and it takes about 1 hour and 10 minutes, believe it or not, to get from one end to the other. So it truly is a very small country. There are 3 distinct areas on the island that we like for visitors to be sure to visit and to have a full experience when they're on the island. So the west end, pretty historic. The central part, especially on the bottom of the map here, you'll find our South Shore beaches. And then at the east end is where the actual country was discovered by the Sea Venture. So that is definitely the most historic part of Bermuda. So back in 2000, UNESCO actually came down to the island and they designated the old town of St. George's as a World Heritage Site. So we do have buildings that are over 400 years old. Still some of the streets are cobblestone and made out of limestone of the building itself, the structures. It is the second English town established in the New World and the second one of English speaking. So we are proud to actually have this historic area on the island, and hopefully anybody who is into the history aspect of travel, this is definitely a must-see area. Now, when you do visit the East End, there are some landmark venues, sightseeing that you definitely don't want to miss. So we do have, starting with my left, the Tobacco Bay. Tobacco Bay is where the ships were actually loaded with tobacco and they were brought to the U.S. Bermuda, back in our history, exported 3 different things, which was Easter lilies, tobacco, and the Bermuda onion. Bermuda is also surrounded by several different fortifications. St. Catherine's right here is the largest one that we have on the island. And of course, the British thought that anybody from France or Spain was going to take over the island, but they never actually had to use any of the forts for protection. The big photo that you have here to the right, that is Crystal Caves. Bermuda happens to have one of the highest concentration of limestone caves in the world. So we do have two that are open up to the public. This one here pictured is Crystal Cave, which is the prettiest in my opinion. And then we also have Fantasy Caves. So they're open 9 to 5 daily. And we also offer splunking for those that want to be a little bit more in depth and do some cave crawling. And of course, we have St. Peter's Church, which happens to be the oldest church in continuous use in the Western Hemisphere. Now, the unfinished church was being built to replace St. Peter's, but during a storm, the money actually was used to repair St. Peter's, and they never finished the other church. So that unfinished church actually is a major sightseeing landmark, and it is used by wedding parties for their ceremonies. So you'll see a lot of weddings taking place there still. In the central part of the island, we will find our capital, which is the city of Hamilton. So this has been the capital since 1815. Now, definitely this is your center of commerce and entertainment. Here you'll find the majority of your nightlife, your shopping, your dining, lots of locals, very small cities, so you can pretty much get around it very quickly, and lots of ample shopping for you to take advantage of. Some of the sightseeing aspects in the central area, along the South Shore, you have Elbow Beach, which is one of the most popular beaches on the island. It is roughly about a mile long, and there is a public section and a private section, which is connected to Elbow Beach, the hotel. The Bermuda Botanical Gardens has pretty much every species of flora and fauna that you'll find on island. Rock climbing has become very popular with our adventure seekers lately. So Admiralty House has been the most popular spot that you can go and find people doing a rock climbing. And then in the west end of the island, we have the Royal Naval Dockyard. So here at the Royal Naval Dockyard houses our National Museum. Here you'll find pretty much all the history of Bermuda when it comes to our maritime history, the history about the slaves, also the importation of the Portuguese, and lots of exhibits and displays on a lot of the artifacts that were utilized back then. So here also in the grounds, you'll find, top right, you'll find a dolphin quest, which actually is a dolphin encounter and not a swim with the dolphin experience, because you're not in the water, you're not pulling on them, they're not swimming with you. You are just in there to learn about the experience of the dolphins and how they are in the habitat. Along the South Shore, on your way to the Royal Naval Dockyard, you'll find the majority of our pink sand beaches. So we have anywhere from large beaches to coves, and the picture on the bottom, Horseshoe Bay Beach, actually happens to be one of the top 10 beaches in the world, voted that by National Geographic and some other media magazines out there. And of course, Gibbs Hill Lighthouse. This happens to be one of 2 cast iron lighthouses ever constructed. And this one here in Bermuda, if we can brag, happens to be the tallest one of its kind. So it's about 185 steps to the top to get that panoramic view that you see right there in the photo. So let's look at some of the island experiences. And what we've created for you is what we call the Adventure Almanac. So this you can actually pull off of our website. And as you can see, it's a great gauge to know exactly what the major activities are on island. So we've broken it down according to the month of the year. And we've also up top given you your air and sea temperature. And down bottom, for those who are divers, we've given you your visibility gauge as well for the year. So this makes a great piece to have when you're planning your trip. And hopefully you can do that around the type of activity that you're looking to do. Bermuda is a great destination for your foodies, definitely. We have over 150 different restaurants serving both local and international cuisines. Now, obviously being an island, seafood is a major experience. And we have restaurants, both in the hotels and locally, where the visitor and the locals are allowed to eat in. Now, what you see pictured here is a lot of our local favorites. So starting from the left, we do have a lobster season, and this is any month in the year that has the letter R in it. So that would be the months that you're allowed to catch and eat Bermuda lobster. Excuse me one more second. The codfish breakfast that you see there, that's actually a local delicacy, and it's a traditional breakfast that we eat on Sunday morning. So what you see pictured there is actually boiled codfish, potatoes, avocado, and the hard-boiled eggs and bananas. So that's definitely something you'll find in some of the local restaurants and the hotels as well. Fish sandwiches are major. We've actually do fish sandwich competitions. So you're looking at the young lady there enjoying that. Fish chowder, definitely a must that you have to try when you're on island. You can pretty much get that anywhere. And as you can see, it's not a cream base, it's actually a broth base fish chowder. So it's really good. And then of course our national drink, the dark and stormy. So you want to be sure that you have one of those, which is made out of Gosling's dark rum and the ginger beer. So for those golfers out there, we do have 6 different golf courses to choose from. And we also actually have a 7th one that is being built that should be ready by next year. We do have several different caves, as I mentioned. So this one here you see is actually a spa, and this is located at Grotto Bay. So several different hotels will have their spa experiences, but this one here is one of the top because this is the only natural cave spa system in the entire world, and that's located right here in Bermuda. In February and in November, we also do spa months. So here you'll find several spas across the island offering 50% off on certain treatments. As I mentioned, our beaches all along the South Shore. We have approximately 30 beaches along the South Shore that you can choose from. No admission. They're open 24/7, 365 days a year. So you can go down there at any time that you wish. One thing you'll find about our beaches as well, they are cool to the touch when you're walking. I know most beaches here in the U.S., you know, they're hot and you're hopping across trying to find your spot. Well, here in Bermuda, believe it or not, because of the content, it doesn't matter how warm it is a day, it'll still be cool to the touch. We are a destination that also offers dive. So here we have scuba diving that takes place. So we do 1 tanks, 2 tanks, half day, full days. Our water depths actually are pretty shallow compared to other locations. You're looking at about 30 to 100 feet depth. And believe it or not, in the winter months, our visibility is up to 200 feet. So this is a great time to come down and do that. Most people don't. Yes, Lori?
I have a question. Is the ginger beer locally brewed?
It is locally brewed, but they do also make it out here. And not that I'm pushing a company, but there is a company out here called Direct Beverage that you can actually order the ginger beer and they can send it to you if you really want it that bad. Alrighty, so in the months of March and April, we actually have whale watching taking place because the humpback whales migrate across the South Shore of the island. So this is the time that you will find your 5- and 7-hour whale watching tours taking place. Okay, so I do want to mention a couple of hotels that I think you all would like. These are pretty much, like I said, in my opinion, some of our more popular ones. And if you're considering going to Bermuda, then I think these would actually be in the category of what you're looking for. So the first picture that we have here, this is the Lauren Hotel. The Lauren is the newest hotel built. It is about maybe 2.5, 3 years old now. And it's definitely a 5-star boutique hotel. It offers 40 rooms, 7 villas, which are 2, 3, and 4 bedrooms. And they have a standalone unit called the Residence, which has 8 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, private beach, pool, gym, grilling area, and private entrance. So definitely, if that's the category that you're looking for, then the Lauren offers that. We do have a Rosewood property on island as well. This is Rosewood, Bermuda. 88 rooms, sounds small, but the facilities themselves are huge. They have a 1,400 square foot gym, a 1,200 square foot spa facility. They have 4 restaurants, and they have a couple of suites as well. So last year they had closed for about 4 months and did a $25 million renovation sprucing up all the rooms, all the public areas, and all the restaurants. Grotto Bay, this is in the category of 3.5 star, I would say, but it's very casual, very quaint. Now, these guys I wanted to mention because this is the only property on island that offers an all-inclusive optional. So there's no all-inclusives on the island, but this one here will offer that if your clients are looking for something similar to that. This is where the Natura Spa is located in their caves. And they also have a second cave known as Cathedral Cave, which you can see the couple in there. It's open from 9 to 5 for you to go swim in there. So they like to brag that this is their indoor pool. Hamilton Princess, one of the first hotels ever built on the island back in 1885, I believe. But if you was to see it today, you would literally think the hotel was built no more than 5 years ago. So we had a local family that purchased it. They gutted the entire hotel from floor up. So all the rooms are brand new. You have 2 new restaurants, 2 new pools, a new gym, spa. The marina itself is brand new for any of those who may have been to Bermuda in the past 10, 15, 20 years. You will notice that is not there as well. And then one of our signature restaurants known as Marcus's is actually run by Marcus Samuelson, who you know is a celebrity chef on Chop. So he's the first signature restaurant running it for Bermuda, and it's located right here. The Fairmont Southampton, so if you want a true resort feel and style, this is the largest hotel on the island. So it has 593 rooms, sits on 10 acres of land. It has private beach, private pools, your tennis courts, 10 different dining options. So you don't even have to leave the property to experience a different type of dining experience because they have 10 different locations. And they have one of the oldest steakhouses out there, which was established back in 1667. So literally, it's one of the oldest steakhouses that you could eat in. Cambridge Beaches, I want to mention, actually because of the fact that this is the only all adult property. So 16 and under are not allowed. You got to be 16 and older to actually stay here. Very secluded, very quaint, located out in the west end of the island. And then 2 new properties that are opening or should have been opening, but have been pushed back because, again, of what's going on in the world. So we have the Azora Boutique, which is definitely another 5-star property, which would have been open in summertime, actually, but it's now been pushed back to January of next year. Actually, I have 2020, but it's next year. And 45 units there, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, also for purchase as well. And then we have the Bermudiana Beach Resort. Now, these were condos that were built, only 2 sold. They bought them back, so the 75 that are there, they are converting into a condo hotel. And this will be run by Hilton Tapestry Collection. So this hopefully should be done also by winter of 2021. And then our 2 biggest hotels that are coming to the island. We do have the St. Regis Hotel, which is being built. This too was also on schedule to be finished by the end of the year, but it most likely will be pushed back a couple of months. So here you have a 121 room hotel, 80 villas, a brand new redesigned golf course. And as you can tell from the photo up top, it's going to be one of Bermuda's first oceanfront properties that we've had since the Sonesta Beach. And then the Ritz-Carlton Reserve is also being built. So Bermuda will be the 3rd international destination to actually have a reserve. And this one here will consist of an 84-room hotel, villas and residences, and the marinas. So they pretty much already started the construction, and you're looking at this not being completed until about 2022. And that's just a little teaser that to show you what some of our DMCs are capable of doing if you do decide to consider Bermuda for any of your meetings or incentive groups. Now, like everybody else, Bermuda is going to be opening up in phases when it comes to this corona or COVID-19. So I'm proud to say, or glad to say, I should say, that Bermuda actually is going to be opening phase 3 this Thursday. So we're a lot closer to having a full opening of the island sometime shortly. So definitely you can visit any of these websites here, which will be our website, Bermuda Tourism Authority, or our government website, which is gov.bm/coronavirus. And you will have your up-to-dates when it comes to the openings and what are they doing, and pretty much everything that will be up to date for Bermuda. And one of our most famous visitors to the island, I want to leave a quote that he has made. "You go to heaven if you want to. I'd rather stay right here in Bermuda."
Very good.
For your time. And Lori, back over to you.
Well, thank you so much for that presentation. I had one more question. I just didn't want to interrupt you yet. Is the island wheelchair accessible for activities, beaches, hotels, and so forth?
We don't have any laws or ordinances that states that anybody has to do that, but we do have a Red Cross on island, and they have, I think, 1 or 2 of those wheelchairs that you're allowed on the beach that will help you to move across the beach. Definitely, I would say talk to any of us in the tourism office who can direct you to what hotels are more conducive for those who may, you know, have that access thing going. So we can help.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Earlston, for this great presentation. It was very educational, and it was also very beautiful. We have some comments, I want to go, and that's the point, right? And
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, when I went, you just brought back all those memories for me. I stayed at the Southampton, and it was beautiful, and I loved it. But I spent a lot of time in the city in Hamilton too. I loved it there. And you saw the men with the jackets and their Bermuda shorts, you know, the term Bermuda shorts, right? And it was so neat to see that. And it's very British, it seemed there, you know, you do that more of an influence. And I really, really loved it. It's very different. It's not like a Caribbean island, and people think that. It's not at all. It's very different. It's a very unique country with a beautiful, beautiful landscape. But I think I need to hit that spa inside the cave. That's awesome. That was one I just stuck in my, you know, you watch this and there's going to be one thing that sticks out for you. That was it for me. But thank you so much. We appreciate your time, and thank you everyone for joining us today. We'll be back on Thursday with another destination. Thank you.
Thank you.